We're going to take a closer look here at the Tower since it's one of those few cards in the Tarot that are so called quote unquote the negatives, right? And we want to interpret them in the right way and see how we can incorporate them in our readings without getting too much angst when they come up, okay? When we totally fully understand what they are showing, then we tend to work with them in a much more harmonious way. But as you can see how the picture here is depicted, we've got this crash going on. We've got the lightning ball, people being tossed off, and yes, it is a sudden change. Now, we always need to recall that for every life situation that we have, the Tarot is depicting it. And so it's just reflecting one of those situations in life when we feel something is coming crashing down on us, right? So as we can see here, sudden change. Why? Because it's unexpected. Suddenly this lightning bolt and oh, here we go, right? So there's a downfall with this when it happens or when it shows up. There's a release of tremendous energy. You know, it could be an earthquake. That's also a release of energy. The revelation part, well, it is because truth comes to the surface and suddenly it being exposed can cause a certain reaction. So when we look at it this way, we can recall many a situation in our past where things happened out of the blue. We might have had some certain expectations for something to take place, and oops, it didn't happen, right? So let's look at a couple of examples where you can incorporate the Tower. Now, we can add the Tower to any of the cards in the Tarot, and it will have the effect on the card that it touches upon, right? We're going to take 2 to 3 examples here so we can see what we're talking about. Say, for example, if the Tower shows up here with Temperance. Now, what does that mean? How would you interpret it? Well, Temperance is all about patience, right? Where we're having one foot in the water, one foot on the ground. We're waiting. We're being temperate. We're not pushing forward and so forth. But say if the Tower comes up here with Temperance, you might feel that, say, if you have been in a situation where you've needed to be patient for a long time and you have been showing a lot of temperance, right? You might come to a point where it's enough with that. You know, you want to break free from. I don't want to be patient no more. You know, if the Tower comes up there, then that would be the emotion that you would be getting from that combination. You're wanting to break free, wanting to release the energy of just sitting put and holding back. You're wanting action. And so in that case, it could be you now breaking free from or creating the Tower of so that you can move out of a pattern that might have been holding you, for example. But let's take a look at the next example and what that might be. If it comes up here alongside with Lovers, well, then we have a different combination. This could be a sudden release of energy. It could be a dispute. It could be an argument here between a couple where maybe he or she wasn't really expecting something to really come crashing down on that very day that the reading is doing or being asked or queried about. So when we see this, well, then we have to understand too, for something to come crashing down like that, normally there has been a buildup of tension. Think about an earthquake. It comes suddenly, but it is because tension has been what? It has been pressing for a long, long time, and then boom, something's got to give. So in the relationship, if we see this, yes, they might have a dispute, a fallout, a disagreement, and it may come out of the blue for the one party of the couple when the other person is releasing that tension. But generally, this comes when something needs to be clarified. You know, if the one partner has been holding back on certain thoughts, well, today is when that is going to be revealed, and the other partner might be left feeling a little shocked from it, for example, right? So it's not a negative card in itself. It just depicts this is life, right? Where at certain times things need to just happen and take place. We can take a third example here and say, okay, here you would see that this fallout would happen at work. It could be due to a project you're working on. It could be maybe the notice of somebody having to leave, for example. Not that we're seeing anybody leaving here. We don't have like the Five of Cups showing up. Now, if that came alongside with it, then yes, that could mean that somebody's getting notice that they would be let go of, right? But it could be other things there at work. It could be a dispute between coworkers, or between oneself and a supervisor. So when we're not too clear on what aspect of work is this tower now affecting, that's when you would want to add another card just to see what area is going to be affected. So the tower is all about cleansing. It's all about moving to next stages at times where things just need to take that switch up. Normally it can come quickly and then it can leave quickly, just as quickly as it came, like a storm. Sometimes it can have a more long-lasting effect that is specifically now depicted here. For example, if this is a notice for you that you're leaving your job, well, that would show with the other cards coming up what consequences it would leave you, for example. Okay, then you can have a long-term change coming from it, but it could also just be a passing storm. So always look around, see what else comes up. Don't be afraid to put on more cards. You just want to continuously asking questions for what it is. If there's something that disturbs you and you're not too clear about it, feel free to put some more cards upon it.